Namya Rengeya Namya Rengeya Namya Rengeya Namya Rengeya Namya Rengeya Rengeya Namya 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 Rengeya Ringeyo namya, 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 ringeyo namya. Mya ringeya namya 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 ringeya Geya namya ringeyo namya ringeyo namya ringeyo namya ringeyo. Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hola, everybody. Okay, so I'm just doing a recording. I just meditated today for almost 4.5 hours today. I would say 4.5 because I do stop it and I still meditate sometimes when I stop my timer. But today I have meditated already. It's noon, and I've already meditated for 4.5 hours almost. I won't say consecutively. I probably do about an hour. Sometimes I might do 30 minutes, sometimes 40 minutes, sometimes 15 minutes, but I have a stopwatch on. And so I'll do the stopwatch, and then I'll meditate, and then I'll stop the stopwatch. And then whenever I go back to meditating, I'll put on the stopwatch so I can just record how much time I put towards meditation. And so far today, like I said, it's noon and I've already put 4.5 hours in. So you can tell my throat, my voice it has more clarity, it's calmer, it's softer. It's not soft when I meditate because it's strengthening my voice, right? So essentially, when you're meditating and you're building that life force, that strength, and refining your energy, right? Harnessing your energy and strengthening it within, going inside yourself, right? Not outside yourself. You're going inside yourself, and whatever you have within, you're using your voice to clear your chakras as you breathe in. And then as you're saying the mantra, Namya Ringeya, you're letting out all the carbon dioxide and all of the low vibrations and all of the disease, right? And so all of the phlegm that I used to have, I don't have as much. I mean, I still have some coming out because each time you can think of meditation, the more time and effort you put in it, it's your spiritual work, okay? So you would go to work, you would clock in and get paid at work with cash, right? Well, in Buddhism, you renounce the materials because it's going to come anyways. So you renounce the materials and you put on the stopwatch, and it's like clocking into work and you're doing your spiritual work. And so the more time you put into the meditation for your spirituality, the more enhancements you get. So the more your gifts get enhanced, the more your intuition gets enhanced, the more your powers get enhanced, right? So these are all the natural things that nature and all the other guardians and stuff like that put into words, paying us, I guess you could say, enhancing us. And so the more time you put into it, the more wisdom you get, the more enlightened you become, the more aligned you become, the more your chakras, which is Sanskrit for Sanskrit, which is a language over 5,000 years old, which means power will. So technically we each have 7 chakras, but as you awaken and you become enhanced, you can activate even more, right? Or depending on your genetics, right? So some people have X amount of genetic strands. Well, then there are beings like ancestors or originals, the older the lineage and heritage, then the more chakras they have, the more power wills they have, what have you. And so, and that's the whole point of coronavirus too, on the news. Every time you go outside of yourself, the news is going to, confuse you or put you in fear of corona. But in Spanish, corona actually means crown. And so crown is actually one of the power wills that of your chakras that actually locks you in, right? The crown chakra is known as the etheric chakra, right? That locks you into the spiritual realm. It's your spiritual crown chakra, right? Power will. And so that's where you get your downloads from the heavens, right? Or the etheric realm, the spiritual realm. And so that's merely all it is an activation. And so if you have a death, which there are no really known real deaths, just what they tell you falsely outside yourself in order to instill fear and control. But if you really go inside yourself, you'll awaken that nobody is really dying from COVID. It's in a digital kind of world, a virtual world, right? Which is why Trump also had spoken true, saying virtually no one has gotten it, right? So because it's in the virtual world, right? And these are the things that's like the matrix, where you have to discern reality from a hologram world, okay? And so as you meditate, you get the Buddha nature discernment. You get the Buddha nature eyes. You get the Buddha nature ears. You get the Buddha nature senses, right? So I literally have put in 4.5 hours today. And yesterday, I think I did almost 4 hours. I think I did 3.5. Today, I've already done almost 4.5 hours. And I'm so happy because it's like the first hour, I'm like, right? And then I just start thinking about all the things that I want to pray for everybody, right? Because the point of Buddha nature, Buddhahood, is to pray and chant for other people's, success and victory over things more than yourself. And so that's why I fervently chant for hours, is because the gift is, you don't even have to, that's what I'm saying. You don't even have to like really chant for yourself, because the more time you put into your spiritual work, the more you're going to get paid. It's like the purpose, the career that actually pays you for your value. You know what I'm saying? It pays you for what you put in, right? Most times people are like, I just can't get advancements. Every time I go, I've hit a plateau, or I've hit as far as I can go, and now they're going to demote me or whatever. But really in spirituality, is like as much spiritual work as you put in is exactly like the enhancements that you get. So the more that you chant, the more intuition you get, the more gifts get enhanced and stuff like that. So you have to continue to do these things. And so the more that I continue to meditate, the more that I end up being in line with all of the laws of the universe, law of synchronicity and all those things, law of correspondence, law of gender. The more truths come to me, or that I awaken to, and then also the more powers and advancements, enhancements that I start to have, right? Because Shoten Zen is our silent prayer and the protective forces of all life and nature that serve to protect me and other true votaries and practitioners of the Lotus Sutra. Because that's, in a sense, the 2 daily prayers are the Lotus Sutra, chapter 2 and chapter 16, expedient means, and the lifespan of the thus come one, which means the Buddha appearing in the world. And thus to purify our mind, body, and spirit. And so, and even more, when I start to meditate, nature is already getting warm. It's December, I think it's like December 10th, and it was like 28 degrees, starting to be 28 degrees outside. But now that I've had like 3 days in of hourly meditation, so 3 days ago I did like 2 hours of meditation, and then I saw some really, for myself, I saw miracles and I saw changes around me, right? Around me. So human revolution is changing yourself within, and that's what meditation is. It starts to align your reality so you can get out of fundamental darkness and delusions and align your realities, right? Not what you have created yourself to believe from what others in the world and propaganda has made you believe, and lies. And then there's somewhere in the middle truth, right? Somewhere in the middle real reality. And so as you meditate, this aligns yourself, right? And then, I for myself can attest that I had to really wake up and be like, oh, we have really been lying to ourselves, or oh, we have really been lied to, and then lying to ourselves on top of that, right? And so you lie to yourself is really bad. So you really have to start meditating so you can see and own up to that and have the courage to be like, I've been lying to myself a little bit. Or, I've been convinced to lie to myself, or I've been convinced to believe lies, right? And so then you'll awaken and you'll start to change. And that's the only way you can get the world that you want, right? And so in order to create the world that you want, you have to change. You can't just be like, I want this, I want that, and then speak it into existence like most people are thinking that I'm doing in my reality. But clearly, I come on here with instruction and clear methods and clear ways and practices daily that I'm doing daily, okay? I'm not just speaking these things. I'm not just speaking fluff and then so it is, or think it's going to be. It is happening because it's already happened within, and you can quite tell, quite clearly see with myself, my energy, my essence, my voice, the clarity, the sanity, the clearness, right? Of my mind, body, and temple. And so as this starts to align, so too do you. And then when you change, then the world changes around you effortlessly. And so for the 2 hours, I started seeing the world around me change drastically. So I was like, oh, I got to meditate some more. So I did it for like 3.5 hours. And then when I did for 3.5 hours, I was like, okay, I've got to meditate somehow. So today I put in 4.5 hours of meditation. And I'm talking about, like I said, 3 days ago, it was reaching from 28 degrees, right? And people were like talking about snow and all this and that. And we started seeing clouds. And I was like, oh no, no, no. We already had the earth shift, right? So now we've got to make it start to get warm early. And so sure enough, I started meditating, like I said, 3 days ago for hours on end. And today is, I was literally, look, y'all, I don't mean to be all in Daisy Dukes, but I had to roll these up. I put some extra virgin olive oil on, and I was out there on the porch just sunbathing it up. That's why I got this glorious tan in the middle of winter. But that's all Buddha nature is good moods and good food. So it's all about laughter. It's all about understanding one another, communicating and connecting with strangers, and learning from past lives, right? Awakening to past lives and who we were, where we've been, to know that where we are, we can change it, right? What have we learned from there to where we've come now? And that's what meditation is for me. You start to awaken to past lives, and then you awaken and you're like, okay, so I'm not that way anymore. I've learned this, or I want to take it here and I want to create this world. So I need to be like this, right? Instead of like how I am on this aspect, I need to be like this or do this, speak and do, speak, think, speak, and do, right? In these particular ways in order to get this, right? So that's what I've been doing. So, I'm not saying that everybody's going to meditate for as long as I do, right? Because I am evoking the Buddha nature, right? But you will work it up to that, right? Because the whole point is awakening everybody's Buddha nature within, because everybody has Buddha nature. Buddha nature has existed since time without beginning. Buddha nature was all about Indra. Indra was like, there's always a different Indra for a certain amount of centuries or time periods. Like, you can't even calculate the amount of time an Indra exists, right? And an Indra is a manifester. An Indra is think it and so shall it be. And then they have particular lotus flowers and opens the lotus flower. And then there's a Buddha, right? Opens the flower, Buddha. Opens the flower, Buddha. Opens the flower, Buddha. So there's like X amount of lotus flowers. And then there's different Buddhas or Bodhisattvas that, are Indras or whatever that are in, I guess it would be Buddha, and then Buddha thinks of the Indras, right? Indras are within the lotus flowers, and then they, manifest, right? They do law of attraction and manifest realities and stuff like that, so that we can perceive things and live and have particular experiences to learn and grow and evolve and expand, okay, and awaken. So I just want to get on here and just share my experience of meditation with you guys today. But for real, it's like so warm. But I guess I will talk to you guys later. Much love and light and protection for you all. Nam myoho renge kyo. Bye. Ciao.